I have a video on my YouTube channel where it discusses what a bond is. Please watch that video if you want more detail on what a bond is to help with this video. For this video though, we're going to look at bond pricing, which is a very important concept for us mortgage lenders to understand interest rates and what they're doing. Specifically, we're looking at how the bond price impacts yield. First, one major component of the bond is par value, or represents 100%. It means that the promised bond is issued for $100,000 over time. That can fluctuate, but either way, you'll get $100,000 back regardless at maturity, so that is the par value. Let's take a look at the chart. What happens when a bond trades at a premium, for instance? Let's say the par value is $100,000. However, the bond is trading above premium at $110,000. At some point, you have a bond at $100,000, but someone pays you $110,000. But when the bond eventually matures, they will only get back $100,000. There could also be a situation where you pay a discount, meaning you purchase a bond beneath the par value. That will eventually give you an extra kicker at the end because you'll receive more money than you initially paid for the bond. Now, when you take a look at a mortgage coupon, which is what I look at daily, you can see that it incorporates some of these concepts. First, it shows the coupon rate, and that's the price. Then two will interact with each other like a seesaw and an inverse relationship. Now, let's take a look at the 10-year treasury chart. If you look at this chart, then this 10-year treasury is trading at 70 basis points and you invested $1,000 to get 70 basis points. So now I have a bond yielding me 70 basis points. How do I make money on this? Well, let's say 6 months later, the yield drops to 35 basis points. Then cha-ching, I made you money. You can make capital appreciation by holding a yield that is higher than the market rate. For instance, if I lock your home at 6%, but let's say pricing improves, and if I locked it later at 5%, then this creates a situation where the mortgage company has made money by giving you a rate of 6%, but it only costs them 5%. Okay, let's look at a maturity now. Let's say someone gets a bond for $100,000 at 6%, then that bondholder would make $6,000 per year. What if the next year market rates rose to 12%? Then the bond that bondholder is holding is still worth $100,000? No. Bondholder is now getting 6%, but everyone else is getting 12%. So how much is my bond at 6% really worth anymore? When bond price is at $100,000, then at 6% it is at par. But if rates were to rise along the curve to the right, then the higher the interest rate, then the lower the value, which means that the bond will have to sell at a deeper discount for someone to be interested. Because over time, you'll see that the loss of interest rate. For instance, if the rates are now 7%, in 10 years, you're on the left on 6% bond that you hold, then you will have to discount the bond by 10% to get someone to buy that bond from you. As you can see, the damage gets greater the longer the maturity of the bond. Now, if rates get better, then you start to get capital appreciation. Simply put, as rates decrease, price increases. As rates increase, price decreases. Based on what we just looked at, a 30-year bond will have much more significant loss of buying power in periods of inflation like we're seeing now. So the longer the bond, then there are as much price sensitivity. Now, this is why mortgage rates are so sensitive. This is why when we are looking at the federal funds rate, which is a short-term lending, it is not entirely indicative of what mortgage rates will do. Inflation will not affect a 1-year treasury bill as much as it will a 10-year, because how much can you really pay more in 3 months? So that's why you can see that the longer term UMBS or mortgage-backed securities and mortgages in general will have more volatility to the inflation market that we're having now. I hope that understanding bond pricing will help you to understand mortgage rates as well. Please give me a call if you have any other information.